Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys some new vintage pieces that I got. I'm trying a new mic, so bear with me as I test this out. I'm trying to improve the sound quality of my videos, so I hope this helps. If not, I just pray that it won't be as bad as what I thought it would. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is this quality better than before? Because back then I just used to use the mic from the camera, but now I'm trying a different mic, so hopefully it's better. But yeah, so today I'm going to be showing you guys some two vintage pieces that I got. But before anything else, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm trying to reach 3,000 subscribers this year, so if these are the types of videos that you like watching, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to connect with me in my socials, it's at JushDLF. So on to the reveal, I got two new vintage pieces, and I would say that these are passing pieces. I do tend to have a very small collection of bags, and throughout my years of collecting, I've noticed a trend that I realize that I don't really tend to keep things that I don't use, but at the same time, I really like trying out trends. So I'm the type of person that likes to try out a lot of different designs, and when I'm done with the trend, I tend to pass it on, especially if I don't use them anymore. In my bag collecting journey, I realized that I tend to categorize bags into just one of two things. It's either it's a classic forever bag or it's a trend bag. And when it's a trend bag, it tends to stay in my collection for just a short while. So these two vintage bags I feel like are just trend bags. These are bags that just feel like it's just that I needed to scratch. So I know that these two bags aren't going to be staying in my bag collection for long. These are bags that I know I will definitely sell on eventually, but for now, these are mine and I'm going to love and use them. So without further ado, the bags are the vintage Bottega Veneta Intrecciato Hobo bag and the vintage Gucci bamboo backpack. So these are two styles that really made a comeback over the past year, so I was just really obsessed with them. And because money doesn't grow on trees, I'm not the type of person to buy the reissues of things, especially if I want to test out the design first. So I got the vintage versions first to try them out. Now let me talk about each of the bags first, starting with the Bottega Veneta Hobo bag. So I'm pretty sure this Bottega Veneta Hobo bag looks familiar, and it's because I just did a reveal of a very similar bag to this one, I think just last month. So about a month ago, I did post a video of the same bag, the Bottega Intrecciato Hobo bag in the vintage version, but in a caramel color, and it's the smaller size than this. So this one is the large size. I think that was called a medium, but it was actually more of just like a shoulder bag type because of how small it was compared to this one. That specific bag I really purchased to sell. In fact, when I uploaded that video, that bag was already sold. I liked it so much, but I really wanted a bigger version, truth be told. And because of that bag, I actually wanted to buy the Jody version in the bigger size. But I guess it was really an itch because when this bag came up, it was in the large size, and this is the size that I really wanted. I really want like that big hobo look, like just a very slouchy look. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is how big it is on me. And yeah, I might not do modeling shots anymore unless you guys request like a specific review video for this specific size of the vintage version. But yeah, this one is way bigger than the one I initially showed on this channel. The caramel one that I had, I think it's more of just like a day bag. However, this is more of like a trip bag. Like you can bring this on like holiday and things like that. It's more of like a vacation bag for me. And I just really love the size more. I feel like I resonated with the size of this large one more than the one that I showed previously. So that's why when this came up in the vintage market, I just bought it again. So yes, I repurchased the Bottega Hobo bag because I just like it so much. And I am still in my journey to getting a Bottega Jody. So crossing my fingers, I'm able to find it in the small size because the teen, it's just too tiny. I think the teen is similar to the old medium size, the one that I showed before. And the small Jody, I feel like it's more similar to this size. So that's why I want the small Jody, and I'm not going any smaller than that. I'm not sure if the color of this reflects on cam, but it's a very light pink. And as you can see, it's like in really good condition, guys. Like, look at that. There are some light scuffings on the corners, but for a very light colored bag and vintage at that, like this is in very good condition. Like even from afar, you don't even see any like discoloration or whatsoever, considering it's such a light colored bag. And even the strap, as you can see, the under has some scuffings, but yeah, nothing crazy discolored. So for a vintage bag, this is like really great condition. So this specific version is the newer one already, because the one I showed in my previous video was the first edition with a different zipper. So the zipper of this now is the more modern one. So I think majority of the INTRECCIATO Hobos have this type of leather zipper versus the first edition one, which was just like 2 strips of leather. So when you open it again, I'll just show you what it looks like inside. And it's the beautiful suede interior, again with a pocket inside. And then everything is there. And this one was just really clean and in great condition. Also, New Bottega came out with a new design for their bags this year. I just saw it on the website like this week or last week. And it's the Bottega Hop bag. And if you look at it, guys, it's so similar to this Hobo bag. The only difference is that the corners, they're more pointed and the handle is thicker. And of course, the weaving is thicker because that's the New Bottega. New Bottega has bigger weaves. So it's basically the exact same shape. I'll show pictures over here. It's basically the exact same shape, except it just has the bigger weaving, which I actually also really like. So I like that bag. Honestly, Bottega Jodie or even the Hop, I would do with either of those two. I just love them and I really need them. So for now, I will stick to this because this slouchy hobo style is a design that I really love. And it was just really an itch that I need to scratch. So yeah, I ate my words. As much as I sold that first Bottega, I purchased another one. And I think I'm gonna stick with this longer than I had that one, because that one I really knew because of the size. Like, I really wanted the bigger size for the vibe and the look that I wanted. So I think this fits just that perfectly. So eventually this will be rehomed, I'm sure, but for now I'm going to enjoy her because I just really love this. It's really such a cute look and I just love the vibe of it. And I'm so glad I found it in this amazing quality. Like, look at it. Like, you don't see vintage Bottegas in this very light color in this condition anymore. Like, look at it. It's like crazy clean, except for the little scuffings on the corners, but everything else is like gorgeous. So I'm so glad I found this. And then next bag is this cute, oh my gosh, super freaking cute vintage Gucci bamboo backpack. And guys, the bamboo trend just really hit me, especially after the Gucci Diana with the bamboo handles got reissued. I was just crazy over this. If you guys watched my unboxing for the Gucci Diana, I was just like all over it. And even prior to my unboxing of this bag, I already made videos on how much I love the bamboo handle vibe. The Gucci bamboo design is from their archives, going all the way back to 1947. So that's when they started with this bamboo design, the bamboo handles. And throughout the years, they would keep getting reissued, like even in the 90s and so on. And this is the latest reiteration of the bamboo handles. And when they brought back the bamboo, I was just all over it, especially in this Gucci Diana bag. I just love the novelty of the bamboo on bags. And so when I saw this vintage backpack, I was just like, oh my gosh, I need this in my life. So this is the bamboo backpack in this cognac color. And I don't have brown bags. I'm thinking if I do. Oh, I have like the Speedy Nano, but it's not in this like cognac or tan color. I don't really have those like golden brown colors, like caramel neutral. So right now, I think that's my era. Like, I collect a lot of black bags, but I feel like I am in my brown caramel era. I just feel like that's the color that I need to start collecting now. And when I saw this vintage backpack in this beautiful color, I was just like, oh my gosh, I really need it. I started seeing the specific design in like consignment shops online, and I started researching on it because when I saw the design of it, it looks very modern. It doesn't look vintage actually. Actually, even now when I showed like my mom and like friends this bag, they were like, that does not look like a vintage bag. It looks very modern. It looks very of this time. But would you believe it? This is from the 90s. Like, this bag is 20 years old. I can tell because of the tag inside, which has like the serial, and the make of the tag is the tags from the 90s. So this is a 90s backpack, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Anyway, I saw it on consignment, so that's when I started doing research on it, because I didn't really see this design much, like even in like vintage stores or pre-loved stores online. I never really saw them sell this. So when this popped up, I started researching on it just to know more about the bag. And then I think this was like earlier this year or maybe late last year when I was researching this bag, and I saw that they actually had the reissued version on the Gucci website. Right now, they don't have it anymore, but when I was researching it earlier this year or last year, I saw this exact backpack. Like, they reissued this exact backpack, and you can buy it brand new on their website. So when I saw that it's been reissued, I was like, okay, this is definitely like an investment bag, because it's a style that's being sold nowadays. So buying this, it's like buying the same design for way cheaper. So I just bit the bullet and got this. It's in amazing condition, guys, for like 20 years old. So definitely there are like scratches and like some fading on the corners, but it's not like crazy scuffing. The corners are still good, save for like just lightening of the leather, because of course this is an old bag. But guys, the leather of this, it's just insane. I was really surprised considering this is like a 90s bag. So this is older than my vintage Chanel. My vintage Chanel is like from 2002. 2003. It's not even a 90s bag, but this is a legit 90s bag. And look at the leather. It's so smooth and it's so hard wearing. I couldn't believe it. Like, Gucci was really onto something back in the 90s. So when you open it, the thing is, it is the older style backpack. So it's not the magnetic closure that you have now that's like modern, that you really have to like do it the old way and unclasp the hoop over there. But I like all the details of it, because even on the closure, there's a bamboo detail, as you can see. So you open this up, and there's a drawstring closure inside. So you can definitely adjust this if you have like more stuff to put inside, and if you want it to be more secure. And as you can see, because of the adjustment, you can actually put a lot of things inside. Like earlier, I did a side view and it was like flat like this, but it can actually go really big, and you can put like a lot of books in. As you can see, like you can try stuffing in some of my books, like let's say 3 of these books. Try putting it in. Say you're like a college student and want that like vintage vibe. You look so cool with this bag if you're a college student, and imagine you got it for like vintage prices. So there, you can fit like 3 full books inside, and it'll close really nicely, as so. And look at that. And the bamboo handle is strong enough to be able to carry all that weight, which I just love. And for this, because it's vintage, you don't really have to worry about it. I feel like this would have been such a great college student bag, like back in my day. Like if I were still in college and it were the year 2023, I would feel like such a cool girl carrying this backpack. Because like, yeah, it's just a very fashion girl kind of vibe. I think because it's vintage, yet it's still modern. Like, you really can't tell this was from the 90s. So if you were a fashion girl, like carrying this around in school, like in university, I feel like it's such a statement, because it's a vintage bag. Like when you're in college, you're in like what, early 20s, so you can't really afford like the super expensive bags yet. So you go towards vintage, and vintage for a college student, it just gives all that vibes. Like, this girl has style. That's what I think. Well, in general, like if people wear vintage and you can recognize that it's vintage, I always have so much respect for those kinds of people, because you just know that they know their fashion, they know their fashion history. And so having a bag like this, I think, definitely symbolizes that. I forgot to show like the details of the interior, but even the interior, it's in great condition because it's in cloth. So the problem with a lot of the vintage bags, especially from Gucci, is that the interior material that they used back then wasn't genuine leather, or if it had leather, it had like a mix. So a lot of the vintage Gucci bags, their interior would be cracking and sticky, especially the bags from like the 90s or like the early 2000s. So the great thing about this specific vintage bag is that it's in cloth. so none of the interior cracked and none of it like powder. That's another thing, like a lot of the vintage bags, their interior would like crumble and become powder. So that's amazing for this one because as you can see, there's nothing, like it's in pristine condition. So definitely another bag that was very well taken care of. So it's just one big hole inside and then you have a pocket over here and it's still used like the Gucci emblem for the zipper. So that was the interior and I'm really glad that Gucci made this bag with a cotton interior because if not, for a bag this age, the interior would have definitely disintegrated already. And then outside, you just have two pockets over here and it's such a cute design. I really love the novelty of this bag, I swear. I don't know why not much people are hyping this up. Even the brand new ones in store now in 2023, I don't really see much hype about it. So yeah, I'm surprised why it didn't get love, but it's amazing, guys. Like, look at this detail, the bamboo that just turns around. It's like a clasp closure with just the bamboo, no other metal elements, just bamboo. And yeah, even the pockets are still in great condition. It also has like the cloth interior as so. The only thing about this bag where you can tell its age is the glazing. So definitely, guys, this bag is 20 years old. So the glazing has definitely cracked already, which is something that I know I can have fixed. So this is something that I'll just be bringing to the bag spot just to fix like the edge glazing because it has already cracked, but look at it. It's still in amazing condition. It's just that I want to enforce the leather again. So adding edge glazing or like retouching it would help, especially with the straps because they're thin. So you just want to like maintain it. So this is definitely due for a bag spa for the edge glazing. But I think that's all that I'm gonna have done with this bag because everything else is perfect. This is a bag that I've been using to the gym right now. I know I use my MCM backpack to the gym, but I thought this would look so cool, especially because it's vintage. Again, because it's vintage, I'm not really scared to like throw it around and things like that. So I just love the vibe of it. And yeah, amazing quality for vintage. And I'm so excited to use this a lot more. So yeah, these are the two new vintage bags in my collection. I'm so excited to use them because when it comes to vintage, I think what's good about it is that you don't really have to worry about damaging it because someone previously already made their mark on it. So it's not something that you have to be conscious about. Whereas if you buy brand new, like the smallest scratch, the smallest mark or dent, you're just like, ouch, it hurts my soul. But for these bags, because they're older and they're still in great condition, like they're not really something that you'll have to worry about anymore. And as I said, like especially with this Gucci bamboo, because the leather is so strong, I think that's a calf leather. Like the softness but sturdiness of it makes me assume that it's calf because lambskin usually is softer. It's way softer and more prone to scratches. But for this one, like the scratches of this bag, it's more of like a patina and it added character to the bag versus like super lambskin bags, which are like, you really know when it's a scuff or a scratch. So yeah, these are my two new bags. I will eventually be selling them, but I think I'll just put them down in the comments below when I'm ready to sell because as of now, I am still enjoying these bags. But as I mentioned earlier, these are definitely trend bags for me. They're just there to scratch the itch because it's a vibe. But no matter, I think they're great pieces and I'm just so excited to use them and I'm so excited to have them in my collection right now. So that's about all for today's video. If you guys like the video, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button down below to help the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to reach 3,000 subscribers this year, so I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to connect with me in my socials, it's at TrishDLF. I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye!